Good morning, good morning, good morning. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. What we're going to go ahead and talk about today is a highly requested video. I always get requests for this just about every other month, as far as to put a new one out similar to this, because everybody's always asking, what are some really good free-to-play games out there that they can go ahead and test out and really jump into a game and not have to pay a fortune on NFTs to dive in there. So what I want to do is an updated version. I haven't done one of these videos in months. I know. You guys have been asking for a lot. So let's go ahead and put it out there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cover 3 free-to-play games that I am super excited about. One's out now, one's coming out very soon, and the other's coming out in the very near future. So we'll cover all 3 of those, and they all have a very similar design, which really has me excited because I think it's going to become a trend, which we'll talk about here in a few minutes. Again, I will show you all 3 of them, or at least what we have available for all 3 of them, tell you about them, and you can go ahead and keep an eye out for them. I know they're free to play, but we'll go ahead and do the normal disclaimer. I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. Please make sure you do your own research before you dive into any project, even if it's a free to play option. Just make sure it's right for you before you spend any time on it. So like I said, these are going to be free to play options. They all have NFT upgrades. So if you choose to, and it's right for your situation, you do have the ability to get some bonuses or some advantages, we'll say, by grabbing some NFTs, which gives you boosts in the game, but it's not required. All of them can be played for nothing if that's what you choose to do, other than your time and a little bit of grinding within the game itself. Before we talk about the trend that really has me excited about these 3 games and the reason I'm highlighting these 3 games, let's talk about really free-to-play in general, not just on the Wax blockchain, but for all blockchains right now. The typical scenario for a free-to-play option is it is tacked on to the end of basically a normal NFT game. Basically, in order to play the full version of the game, you still have to buy these NFTs or this access or just anything in general that you need to play the game. But we also give these this little additional option to do a free-to-play to test it out, see if it's right for you, whether it's an option to play the game, but you have very limited access. I'm not going to call any out because I think you all can tell which ones I'm talking about as we're going through this. You can test it out, but you can't get any rewards for it. So you're literally playing to see if you like the game, which is fine. I'm totally all right with that, to give you an option to go ahead and test out the game. But it's not necessarily a full, true free-to-play option. There's other ones that call themselves free-to-play, but then they charge you little micro fees to open packs or things like that, which is not free-to-play at all, but they call themselves free-to-play. I call them low entry points. There's other options also where if the main game is you go out and you try different things, or you go out and explore different areas, they'll give you like 1 free transaction a day or every few hours. But you can't really get into the game, and rewards are minimal at all. Now that we got the typical standard out of the way, let's talk about this new trend that I'm actually really, really excited about. And I'm excited about it for multiple reasons. It's going to bring more people in, it's going to earn trust, and it gives you really the chance to play the game. So the trend is what's happening and what we're seeing in a number of games upcoming and one that's been already released is you have full access to the game. You can play the entire game or the entire segment of the game. And the only thing that you need to get NFTs for is if you want that additional battle pass or you want the additional bonuses by owning the NFTs that give you a little bit of a head start in the leaderboards. Yes, it's going to get to the point in these games where in order to succeed, you do need the NFTs, but they're limited. And when I say succeed, I mean top 10 on the leaderboard. You can still get good rewards from them. You can still, I hate to say it, but you can still get some. We'll just keep it at that. We'll keep it at. You can get some rewards for them, and what you choose to do with those rewards is your choice and your decision. But you actually have the ability to get rewards, which is great. Which is great because you can play the full game, you can test it out, and you can go ahead and continue with it if you decide to. As I mentioned before, the reason that this is so exciting to me personally is because it's going to draw more people in. Web 2.0 people are not going to see it. They're going to see it as a game, as a normal, typical game. Most games, mobile or web-based, traditional Web 2.0 games have microtransactions on the back end. If you want to get this extra reward, if you want to go faster in the game, there's a microtransaction there. That's similar to the NFT setup. So it's very similar. They can go ahead and play the game. If they choose to accelerate the game, they have that microtransaction or an NFT on the back end that they can do. So it correlates a lot more with a lot of Web 2.0 games that are out there. In addition, it's going to build the trust back. For the last 2 years with NFTs, it's the reason we've lost a lot of trust is because high entry fees, pack sales, lots of hype, and then rug pulls. You actually get to play the game. You can choose after you play the game whether these additional NFTs or rewards that you want to go ahead and chase down. That's your choice, but you do not get rug pulled. That's fantastic. Those are two things, these two hurdles that we've been trying to overcome on the blockchain space is easy entry and build trust. That's why I like this model so much that I'm going to talk about. And you may have guessed already some of the games itself. The only concerns that I have with this model is it really sustainable? Can these projects continue to put out updates and continue to develop and continue to support these projects with only the back end fees, or the microtransactions we'll continue to call at the end for the NFTs? Can they do that? A lot of the projects that these are coming out with are parts of studios. So they may have other projects that are supporting and development, which is nice. So we'll see how that all works out. Is it sustainable? That's a question we'll ask here in about a year from now, if it all worked out. All right, I've talked about why I like these options so much and why they're so different than the traditional free-to-play that we've seen over the last 2 years. Now let's talk about the actual games themselves. Like I said, you probably can guess the first one. It's already out there. It's already past the beta phase. It is technically in the first season right now. It is part of another bigger project. It's through NFT Battle Miner. It's the Shadow Depth version of it. It's this right here. If you haven't played, it is a separate but connected game to the overall NFT Battle Miner, project itself. But it is a solid game within itself. If you have not tried this yet, it is a space-based game where you can go ahead and sign up for free. You'll go through some of the details. You send them out on missions. You go ahead and collect different things. You upgrade your equipment. You keep becoming stronger and stronger, battling bigger monsters. And your goal is twofold. There's 2 goals for this that free-to-play players can compete at. First of all, there's the leaderboard. If you click on the leaderboard and you go ahead and you're progressing there, you can go ahead and actually win rewards at the end of the season. I'm 109, and I do have the battle pass, so I do have the NFT version of this, but it has not given me that big of a bonus because I bought it late. If you buy the NFT battle pass for the leaderboard, and I'm specifically talking about the leaderboard right now, it gives you a bonus at the beginning, probably for the first couple days. But once you get past those first couple days, as far as the leaderboard itself goes, it doesn't give you a huge advantage. Free-to-play players can keep up with those people that have the battle pass. So there's people that can go ahead and compete and get rewards. I'm not saying you're going to be top. I said this before, that if you want to get in the top 10, you're probably going to need the battle pass from instant 1, second 1, so you can get that quick advantage to it. But you still have the chance to go ahead and win prizes for the leaderboards. In addition to the leaderboard rewards for this game, you can also go ahead and do the season pass. Like I said, I do have the battle pass, so I do have the premium version, but they have some really good rewards for the free-to-play version, which is the top bar here. And specifically, I'm going to go ahead and actually, pressed the wrong button. I'm going to scroll over, and I'm not trying to sell ROI or sell anything as far as return goes. I just want to show you that there are some rewards. For example, this pack right here sells for about 150 wax currently at the time of this recording. So if you get up there and you do enough tasks to earn this, you get a reward there. That prize alone, or that item alone, is more than most free-to-play games give you at all through your entire play. So it's nice to see that. It's a nice addition from the rewards perspective. Now, from the gameplay perspective, which I usually focus most of my videos on, It's a fun, it's an addicting game. It gets a little bit grindy as you continue through. That I get, but the overall, it's entertaining. It's kept my attention for, I guess, the last week and a half that it's been live. I did not play alpha or beta, but I just kicked off, and you saw I did a review on this about a week or so ago, maybe 2 weeks ago now. It's kept me entertained ever since. I do check it multiple times a day, so it's entertaining value. And this is a great free-to-play option that's available right now that I would suggest you go ahead and check out. Again, it's part of NFT Battle Miner, and it is their shadow depth version of it. You don't get access to all the mining and staking and things like that. That is a different part of the game. That is not free-to-play, but the shadow depth version of it. If you go ahead and here, you click play, the shadow depth, this part right here, is free to play, and I encourage anyone that is interested in it to go ahead and at least take a look at it. All right, that is option number one. That is available right this second. You can go ahead and play. There's an option two that is going to be dropping and being available here in a few days on September 1st, and I think you may already know which one I'm talking about. This is Parsec. Parsec is 100%, well, I should say, in order to play the game itself, it is free to play. There are NFTs that are available that give you a bonus. They have the commanders, the PFPs that gave you some staking prior to this September 1st timeframe. And they have the space station, which are ridiculously priced. But there's only, 12 of them. There's only 12 of those. So they do have the range of free to play all the way up to the whale type of NFTs. But the main thing that I wanted to focus on here is the free-to-play portion of it. It has not released yet for alpha. I don't have actual gameplay of it. I am going to do a series once it actually drops because, again, I'm trying to promote the free-to-play style. So I will do a full series on the free-to-play, showing you how I'm progressing throughout the season, similar to what I did with the Realm probably about, eight or so months ago. So I'll do a similar thing with Parsec. They do have in the Discord some teasers, we'll say it, some screenshots that you can go ahead and take a look at. It's clean. It's very clean. It reminds you of another game that I shall not name. That is a Web 2.0 game. Again, free to play. You get access to everything in here free to play. The only thing that you will not get access free to play is the commanders up here. And the commanders just give you a little bit of a bonus. You can check out their white paper to see exactly how much of a bonus it is, but it is not required to play. That was a little bit of the confusion over this past month when they did those commander pack drops and the PFP pack drops. They are not required to play. It is free to play. Can't stress that enough. And then they have, like I said, it's a very clean look to it from what I've seen from the sneak peek screenshots. Granted, this could look completely different by the time alpha comes out, but we'll go ahead and we'll do a full review on this. I wanted to make sure I did mention this because it's actually probably the game other than Avalon that I'm maybe most excited about coming back here in September. So they'll have September 1st will kick off the alpha, October 1st will kick off the beta, and then the actual regular season, assuming alpha and beta go well, is really targeted for November 1st. But alpha and beta are going to go ahead and give the rewards, the full rewards that a season would. So technically it's kind of like alpha is season one, but they're not calling it that because you have to understand there's going to be bugs. There's always bugs in alpha. So that is kicking off here on September 1st. I got one more for you. This is actually one that I hinted at in this past weekly recap. I thought it was coming out in September, but it sounds like it's not coming out until maybe October range. So keep that in mind. I just heard some information on that one. I've been kind of digging to get a little bit of information from it, but they're not giving me much from it. The only thing that I do know that it is free to play. It's a very similar model to Parsec. It's a very similar model to Shadow Depth, where the main part of it is free to play, but they will have some NFT options that go along with it. And that's going to be here for Anook Studios. It is the Blockchain Chronicles. This is a teaser or a promo thing that they put together. Again, I don't have a ton of information on this. I don't know exactly what the game's about, but I know the studio, I know the people behind it. So I'm pretty excited about that part of it. I know it's free to play, so it's going to be interesting how it all works out. I don't know what the NFTs are going to be. I don't have access to the white paper or the website. I've been told that that's going to start probably coming out here in about a month or so, probably the end of September timeframe. There are more details around it, but they are going through the testing phase right now. It's something just to keep an eye out for. This is another one of those where I don't know if it'll be good. I don't know if it'll be bad. I have zero details other than the team behind it. I trust the team behind it. I know it's free. I know it's going to be free to play. At least I'm pretty sure it's what I've been told. So it's another game that you should go ahead and keep an eye on. Go to the Anook Studios Discord. More announcements that are going to be dropping here soon. It is called Blockchain Chronicles. Once I have more details around that, obviously I'll go ahead and put that out so you are aware of it. Again, Blockchain Chronicles. We're going to go ahead and pause it right there. That's all the details I have right now. We know the studio. So those are probably the three that I'm looking forward to the most as far as free to play goes. And you notice the theme. You get full access to the game for free to play, NFTs as a bonus. Similar to most Web 3.0 traditional games, especially on the mobile side, web side, you get access to the game, and then there's microtransactions to speed up and give you bonuses. It's the same model. It has worked so well on mobile that there's games like Raid Shadow Legends is making so much money off of it that why wouldn't they start adopting it here on the Wax? Not necessarily just the Wax blockchain, but Web 3.0 and all. It makes sense. I'm excited for this model to come out here, and I know I'm rambling a little bit here, but it is a model that we have not seen really on the Wax blockchain, and I think it's a good model if it gets out there and enough people are aware of it. So that's why I wanted to highlight this video. Really get 3 free-to-play options out there that are coming out here in the near future or are already out. So go ahead and check them out. Again, the options that I have talked about is NFT Battle Miner, the Shadow Depth expansion, Parsec, which drops here on September 1st as far as the alpha goes, and then last but not least, and it went away from me, is Blockchain Chronicles. We'll start hearing more about that in about a month or so. So let me know down in the comments below. What are you thinking about this? What are your thoughts? Are there any other free-to-play options that are similar to this model? I know Our Planet had one out there. That was also, it had so much bad rep behind it. I don't think it caught on there. I know there's some people that still play it, but so let me know, other than those 4 that I just mentioned, are there any other games on the Wax blockchain that have this similar model that you're excited about? I hope you all have a great day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.